Hello everyone and welcome back to some more Steel Division 2. New week, new video, and we start with a game between Colonel Koenig and Jaapaasa from the December monthly tournament. And in that one we had an interesting rule set where we had fixed matchups that we were given, and we could choose one of them, and then, each player would pick their division. So the matchup that Koenig and Jaapaasa decided to go for is Panzer Hermann Koenig versus 4th US Armored. And yeah, so this is an interesting one, not just because of the matchup itself, but also because, first of all, both players said that this was a very interesting and fun to watch game. But also, I played this exact matchup myself versus Mamil when I played him for 3rd place, and it went terrible for me. So I'm actually quite curious to see, so sorry if I'm a little bit biased here, because I'm quite curious to see what Jaapaasa can do with his division that I couldn't. So let's dive into it with the decks first. Let's start with Jaapaasa's build of Panzer Hermann Göring. This is an interesting one. Very unique build in a way that I haven't seen it very often. So the recon tab, we do have the usual, some SPWs, and then he brings Jessica to 50, which is, it has a little AT gun on top of it. It's not that bad. And then I've cleared Panzer 3. And of course, it makes a lot of sense to deal, with all these half tracks that 4PS is going to get. Inventory tab, also not super surprising, we have Valkyria in A and C phase. It's a nice, cheap, and pretty decent hybrid unit these days. So it kind of makes sense to have it in those two phases. One in A phase for a little bit of spam and pressure. And then in C phase, just to round it all up and to have something that can do something in C phase. But A phase is very CQC heavy with 2 cards of Sturmpioneer. On top of that, we have the HG Pioneer MP44, which is quite nice MP44 unit. With an MG42 and a Gibraltar Long, so nothing really wrong there. B phase, enough CQC and some Panzergrenze as well. And of course, the Sturmgrenadier in A phase, which is another MP44 unit. Nothing special here. This is the Valkyria, by the way. Just kind of do a little bit of everything. And that's quite nice to have. Tank tab, T-34s and Panzer IVs, but no Panzer IVs in A phase. Not a lot of range action in A phase. It's really mostly 1500 meter range, except for the Jagdpanzer, which we're going to see. Then in B phase, a Tiger support tab, M14s for a little bit more cheap support against half tracks. The Sturmtiger, which is quite nice, but the support tab has, other than that, only ammo and the Panzer 3N, but no machine guns, no flamers. Although those could come with some light armor as well. Nothing like that. It's very unique and interesting build. No support guns, no anything like that. All just mechanized stuff, and then, the ammo. AT-tab, similarly interesting. Pack 38 and 80s. And I don't necessarily need to pack 40 this. I do get, he has a Marder and the Jagdpanzer 4, although he only takes one of those. And then in B phase, you have Panzerschreck, which is not something that I would ever recommend doing. However, I guess the reasoning in this specific matchup is probably that Jaapaasa has so many half tracks and the M14s and just enough light stuff in general that he just doesn't really see a reason to have this in A phase, but he wants to go long because, Koenig will have light armor for days. So I guess that is probably the logic behind this. I don't know for sure. Other than that, AA, you're 20 mils. I'm quite surprised about that. Gepard and 20 mils are nice. He brings it with, the 20 mil transport. I'm still a bit surprised about that. I would have expected there to be, something with a little bit more punch than he takes Jessica sits and running B phase. Single vest. So not a lot of AA there, actually. Panzer really needs to have this surviving. To the tab, quite light, Hummel, and then a bit of Wachtel because it doesn't actually run recon in the actual recon tab. Air tab, Tank Buster, very reasonable with a recon plane to spot for it, and that's all. On the other side, Mighty 4 armored by Koenig. This is definitely going to be very dangerous because this is, it's a Western Light division, and Koenig is very good with those. And I think this one is also one of Koenig's strong divisions in general, but he doesn't get to play it very often. In the recon tab, we do have something that we don't see very often, which is the Bantam. It's just a 50 cal cheap with a little bit of armor. So it actually survives. It doesn't get killed by small arms fire, and that makes it super annoying because for only 10 points you get a mobile 50 cal, which you can't kill without AT. That's actually more annoying than you would think. This thing is really fun to use. Of course, only works if the opponent doesn't have plenty of tools to counter it. In this case, I'm not so sure if it's actually a good idea. Ammo and Pioneers, it's a TNT unit with a bazooka, and then some M8s and A phase. Adds double vet. Koenig likes to do those double vet. There's not actually that much light armor here compared to Jaapaasas, at least fast light armor, that's should I say. Steward Recon in B phase. Koenig loves his stewards. He loves light armor in general with his armored decks. In retab, we do have the armored rifles in A phase. No vet at all, just tons of bazooka in half track. But those he doesn't actually bring with anything. They do have M1 Garand, so at close range they can actually do a little bit of something. Then we have armored rifles BAR, of course. I think he could bring armored rifles LMG in A phase, but I guess it doesn't. So he sticks to single LMGs. Engineers in A and B phase, as well as a lot of rifles. There we go. The rifles lady can also take in A phase. There they are. More of them in B phase and C phase. Some armored rifles PR again. Tank tab. All coming in with half tracks. You only have the engineers in B phase coming in with the 50 cal half track. Those rest are the 30 cal one. Tank tab, some more stewards in A phase. The Rhino, which is of course very mighty. Then leader stewards and Sherman 76s, one of the best Shermans you can get, really. And then some Sherman 75. These are just a little bit up armored. I think it's 110 millimeters. Yep, there we go. Which is, nice to have. Support that. Flamers, 2 cards. You get 2 of them. Then he brings the weird little leader M8. So he has more leadership in A phase. This is actually not a commander. This is a normal leader. It's in the support tab of 40s and I think 30s as well. And then, 2 KHE supplies, that's about it. AT tab, 1M1 gun for A phase, and then the first Hellcat, and then more Hellcats in B and C phase at double that. So not that much 2K, but then again, if you look at Hage, it doesn't actually have that much 2K available to it as well. Really, the only 2 tanks you can get is the Tiger and the Sturmtiger. Other than that you don't get armored 2K. And the Sturmtiger is 2K HE, but that will delete tanks too. So we can count as a 2K tank, basically. A-tab, M15 is not really much more than that available. Artillery tab, spotters, 81mm, and then the 155, which makes sense. It's mobile. I used to hate it a lot. For quick play, I would not necessarily recommend it unless you play Maverick, because of the availability and no ammo. But, for Maverick, in the tournament setting, perfectly fine. On the air trap, we have a very unique unit that we don't see very often, which is Rosie the Rocketeer. It's, one of these little scout planes, but it gets bazookas on top of it. It's only 30 points, never actually seen it used successfully, so let's see if that works. But Jaapaasa has too many single 20 mils that I think this is going to work. Then, F5A for some recon, and then of course P47 for some air spam, but very moderately for Koenig, actually. We don't see him holding back this much very often. And here we are again. Let's look at the deployment as always. So Jaapaasa is doing a pretty classical move here by going heavily for this central area over here. It's a southern area, central valley here. It's pretty typical. You kind of go for this, you win this, and then you're well set up. Alternatively, you can go for the town, but usually it doesn't pay off super well unless your opponent really fucks things up over here, which is what I did when I played this matchup. So, yeah, a lot of light armor, then some infantry, CKC, Valkyrie over here. In the center, of course, you tanks, Martyrs, and I guess these guys, and of course a Gepard to round it all up. On the other side, on Koenig's side, he doesn't actually try to match this. It makes a lot of sense. He doesn't actually have that many fast light tools. He only has, the 2 cards of M8 in the recon tab and the 2 in the support tab. So he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to go all in here with the light armor rush because he's not going to win that. Instead, he uses most of his light armor and his infantry over here. By the looks of it, goes defensively up there. So Koenig's plan is, which is a very legitimate plan. If you don't want to fight over this valley over here, just want to make sure that you don't lose the hill and don't lose this hill. Because then your opponent can't actually push all too deep through here. And this is, by the looks of it, is what Koenig tries to do. Although it depends a bit on what he has over here. If he allows Jaapaasa to take all of this, that's not really going to work out super well. But he goes in here defensively with some CKC. Oh, I didn't notice he has the flamethrower, or one card of them actually, in the half track. That's good, interesting. But yeah, he has a lot of infantry, some half track stewards over here. Jaapaasa tries to attack there, also pretty classical move. You can get in here relatively nicely and safely, so no big surprise there. And some reinforcements for the town, and the rest of the town is very lightly defended with some Valkyrie, some half tracks, and one of these light tanks. We do have a Hellcat in the town. Not really sure what that is all about. I guess to use the range and hold this safely, but not something I've seen. Is it worth taking the Hellcat? I don't know. I have some doubts. We have a Bantam. another M8, leader M8, and some infantry over here. Koenig definitely trying to get in here and take those two flags. Even trying to see if we can get in there, which is not something we see every day. What's important, of course, is that Jaapaasa's got the good side. Hold on, let's double check the speed. Yep. In my opinion, this side is just a little bit better because you can, once you get this, you can very easily lock down your opponent and secure the hill. Over here, you know, it technically, you know, this is kind of similar, but in practice, it's way harder to get all out of here and then cover this off entirely. So there's that. At the same time, though, if you get this hill like over here, it's really hard to get in here in any way. Over here, you have, you know, this to work with. You have the town here where up close where it can get in. So, but I think blue side is overall a little bit better set up, especially because you can also get in here at the start. Flamer gets stopped. Koenig is on the micro and smoking. The Royce Rocketeer is here and is trying to go after the SPW233, but the Marder, the Gepard has something to say about that, and he says, no, we're not going to do this today. SPW233, oh, nicely positioned there to do some transport sniping. He's now going to go after the Flamer. Koenig unloaded it in time, but it could have consequences for some of his other units. Jaapaasa might be able to take out one or two of those half-tracks unless the W233 continues to miss, which is going to be the case, and now he needs to be careful because the steward is coming in as well. Then here Koenig is going to get in with his engineers and the ammo and pioneers, which should help against the armor over here, and the M8s are moving in as well. Should take out the Gepard with ease, and this thing, I don't really think he can do all that much here either. The T-34, of course, is the real prize, but he needs to be very careful not to get too close to the ammo and pioneers. There we go, Gepard goes down. This little thing here, oh, Hellcat sees something. Yeah, and the M14 goes down. This M14 over here got penned once, so far appears to struggle, and down he goes. Armored rifles take out the unit over there. Only Sturm Pioneer here, of course, is not that good because the half-track can bully them, but Jaapaasa uses the smoke there. Marder has APCR turned on. Now it's turned off. Wasted a shot, but still penned one M8. The other one gets away. SPW233 claims the last kill there, and the armored rifles with their M1 Garand actually managed to force off the KG Pioneer MP44. Over here, Sturm Pioneer winning easily against the Flamer. But is moving too close to the 50 cal half-track. Gonna get a full burst off. It should still win against the armored rifles, really. But of course, the half-track suppression there didn't really help all that much. ME410 up here. Half-track pushed actually forward. It looks like Jaapaasa's completely losing the time. Champagne holding here, so whatever trying to rush through there did get stopped, but Jaapaasa's going to lose these two flanks. Probably currently on a 13-11. It's not good for Jaapaasa, who is on the Vanguard income, mind you. That being said, you know, the first 3 to 5 minutes are not really... They are decisive, but if you have a lead there or not, that doesn't necessarily say all that much. I think the trades are generally much more important than what positions you get into. And Jaapaasa's about to win the south. He's just lost the northern part of the map a little bit faster than he's winning the southern. So it's not necessarily a problem. Although it's not that clear whether he's going to win the south actually or not. He's certainly reinforcing it well, but is it going to be enough? That remains to be seen. Koenig has definitely gotten some good trades here. I mean, Jaapaasa's lost, I think, quite a bit of armor over here that he didn't need to lose. I'm not really sure what happened to the... Is that... no, there's the... What happened to the T-34? Is that the T-34? Where did that die? Is that in bazooka range? It might just be in bazooka range. So maybe the armored pioneers or the armored rifles got out there and soaked it. So yeah, Jaapaasa's losing a lot of armor over here, which is quite unnecessary. Some in the town as well. Of course, you have to expect this against 4th US. This is one of the things that makes 4th US so difficult and annoying to play against. Because the fact that all the infantry has bazooka means, you know, unless you have them yourself, which is not really the case for Axis, the problem is there is so much light armor which you would need to take out, but for that you need your own light armor. Like if your light armor or armor shell gets anywhere close to potential infantry position, they might get soaked. So this makes it very tricky to counter this. Like, this is why, generally speaking, in my opinion, playing full US armor you know, can be much, much easier than playing against it, despite two divisions being relatively similarly strong. And I think this is one of those cases. That's not me trying to find excuses why I lost in this matchup. That was actually not the issue when I played this. This was my issue. We have the first Rhino coming in, and I completely forgot about that. That really punished me heavily. Those things are absolute beasts, especially if you're not prepared for them. They can be really dangerous. We do have Koenig preparing also with an M15 there, just to make sure that he has something to cover off his Rhino. Up north, we do have Recon coming in with Ju-87, trying to go after the Steward. I mean, if Jaapaasa managed to kill off all the armor over here, that would be a massive win for him. I actually noticed the spot or coming in the A20, so even more 50 cals there on Koenig's side. And there we go. See how obnoxious these half-tracks are for Jaapaasa. He has the HGPN MP44, but it doesn't have any AT, so it just... like, the half-track can be this close to bully him. Most other divisions, or, you know, most other factions, Soviets, Western allies, wouldn't actually allow this, because there's some sort of AT on most of its infantry. But of course, Koenig can do this unpunished with his 4th US Armored. Another Helka coming in. Oh no, it has been shifted from up north down south. J87 is turning around for another go, but there's no... oh no, it's just circling currently, because there's nothing to spot for it, so it can't actually, you know, it can't just move in and shoot at things, because what's going to happen is the opponent might smoke your vehicle off, or might just move it in cover, and then your J87 sits there and can't do anything. We do have an 80 bomber mortar coming in. Koenig nicely maneuvered the M15 around here on the backside to provide prevent it from getting potentially sniped on the road, which is now not an issue anymore. Oh, SPW might actually see the M15 first before it sees the Rhino. It's trying to get both into position over here. Oh no, this is the older Ken one. Well, it's still deadly for the M15, not for the Rhino though. SPW trying to move forward, but M1 Pioneers are already there, and armored rifles as well. Koenig is aware of it. J87, I was going after this half-track. Interesting. Interesting choice. I mean, it goes down. The SPW 231 is also going down very soon, thanks to the M1 Pioneers. So you should get launched any second. And down he goes. Yep, there we go. I give him the MP44. This is actually a problem, because the Engineers is, at the end of the day, the cheaper unit, so this is just a bad trade. Rifles late are about the only thing here that Jaapaasa can fight with his armor. I'm having to be afraid. But the armored rifle spear are already in the move again. HG are coming in, but the armored rifle spear are also moving up, and they should be faster. So Jaapaasa needs to be very careful there with his armor. 81 mortars also arrives, trying to clear this out. So Koenig not giving up on this yet. Up north in the town, Jaapaasa is somewhat stabilized. He's using the cover that he gets over here, and he just puts some more things in the town. I'm surprised that Koenig didn't go all the way there. I would have expected him to push deeper. But I guess Koenig was too worried about losing this entirely that he didn't want to risk reinforcing the town too much and losing the south for that in return. Jaapaasa is also still close to getting this, but he's not getting it. All Champagne are too close to the edge of the forest and get easily killed by even just Engineers. Rifles are of course also there. Oh, something just died. Don't know what it was. This thing is still alive. It can't be that. But something died. I heard it. Vehicle probably, or transport. Which is also a vehicle, but you know what I mean. Engineers should now easily clean up those Strumpanier, and the rifles may even have a chance against this one. 2-on-1, most certainly. Engineers goes down, but Strumpanier is very low. I think the rifles might be able to finish him off, actually. If we wanted to. Up north, we do have a push here by the Hage Sturmgrenadier, which... yeah, it's definitely not ideal out in the open against an M1 Garand building unit, but two of those should do the trick. Koenig slowly building up over here. We do have now a push by Jaapaasa as well. MP44 units showing what they can. SPW ready to go. Got penned by the Steward first. Which is definitely not good, and it's got taken out. We had this discussion in the Discord, or I had it with someone, about this exact matchup, and truthfully the Steward can lose this if the 20mm gets to shoot soon. But if, you know, the student gets the first shot off and then it takes forever for the 20mm to even turn and start shooting, then it's a very bad fight, as we've just seen here. 30-11 for Jaapaasa, though. His push is successful, but now he's going to run into a lot of light armor, which he can't really get past. That's going to make it very, very difficult for him. Down south, we do see another push attempt going, but the half-tracks are still as annoying as they used to be. And this is where I think more Panzerschrecks would have been very, very useful. Oh, and engineers, of course, are a good counter those Hagelstromgrenadiers. They need to retreat. The Sturmpanier would have been the only thing that can really counter those engineers, and they are getting pinned by very accurate mortar fire. Jaapaasa's falling back in time. No, not in time. Sturmpanier is still getting surrendered, and that means that Koenig can, you know, just freely take the hill here. And Jaapaasa can't just immediately push back because he cannot fight the engineers in the woods with those guys. But they do not have the damage output to prevent the grenade from being thrown. The next Sturmpanier here is already being forced off. Razor Rocketeer is once again forced off before he can do anything. More armor is now coming in. And we can really see this channel thing of 4th US armor. So some people have asked in the past why 4th US is considered to be this strong. This is exactly why. The combination of having bazookas and armor everywhere is really annoying to deal with, and then you have the Rhino on top of that, and the Hellcats. Koenig needs to be a little bit careful over here, though, because if he moves that too far, the Panzer III might get his shot on it. But Jaapaasa also needs to be careful because any units are popping out, and the Panzer III is probably going to be gone. Third line for Koenig once again, actually. So, not really going very well for Jaapaasa. Now we have the Sherman 76s coming in. Jaapaasa has lost his strong income and Koenig has gained his. Now, reinforcements are still coming in. Some of them are quite good. But overall, if you look on the map, I feel like Koenig is probably in the stronger position. Now, the reinforcements that are coming in now show that Jaapaasa is probably floating some points. And what we see here are the last bits of his Vanguard income. And truthfully, the real, you know, strength of an income, the really strong phase only comes shortly after your strong phase is actually ended, because then you have accumulated all that income and it has actually arrived at the front line and has shown an effect. So this is why it's usually a little bit delayed. But still, looking at the map, there's only an ever so slight advantage for Jaapaasa probably. Now, Koenig's, you know, unit icons are a little bit misleading because there's a lot of transports that are dirt cheap, like the 30 cal half tracks. But, you know, there's also the 50 cal ones, which are 15 points nonetheless. But, yeah, Jaapaasa probably has a little bit more in the field, but not nearly as much as he would have hoped with Vanguard. So Koenig definitely outtraded Jaapaasa here to some degree, I would assume. Hagelstromgrenadier are having a go at it again, but the half tracks are so dangerous there. SPW is coming in to try and deal with those, but, you know, Jaapaasa can be very lucky there's no rifle SPR over here because it was just forced off, and now the Rhino is coming in. That's not going to make things any easier. Hummel is now trying to counter the 81mm mortar. Not really sure if that's a smart idea. Maybe Koenig hasn't moved it, but now he does. So, you know, this is the level of awareness of these players is just absolutely insane. Like, this is, if you wonder what makes a top player being a top player, and what, you know, what is the difference between a top player and, you know, a good player, this is one of them. It's not the only thing, but the map awareness and the fast reaction time of these guys to react to any situation is pretty good. Well, actually, but he didn't remember to, you know, maybe route this around this, because this could have easily gotten killed in this strike. Luckily for Koenig, it was not. Not a Hummel coming in, so Jaapaasa decided that things are a little bit stale at the moment, and he needs to go the grindy route, which is a fair call. Oh, but the Hummel is now engaging counter battery by the 1/5, or just the M12. And this is actually a problem because the Hummel is on the reinforcement road, so never do this, guys. This should be a big rule of thumb. Never, ever, ever put your artillery on the reinforcement road. He might actually use the Sturmpanier or the Panzerschreck as a consequence of this, which would of course be quite terrible. Jaapaasa has also noticed Hummel is moving away. Sturmpanier is going to get through. Panzerschreck might not be as lucky. And he's just used them a little bit off the reinforcement roads. It's not really all that much better. No, Jaapasa's going to get lucky. Not getting punished. He's definitely going to need those. One more is resupplied. Hellcat is ready there to get resupplied as well. Considering the spread here, if I was Jaapaasa, I would move those a little bit further away, because they're definitely still in the danger zone. Ooh, D34 gets a pen by the M1 gun. Koenig can't spot it from where it is currently. Madeira in a nice defensive position, but Koenig building up a Sherman 76 and Hellcat force down south. But 12-12 still, so it's going to be a slow, grindy game. Although with, you know, Koenig's advantage so far, and him having the Maverick income now, I would expect that this changes very, very soon. Rosy Rocketeer coming in once again. I guess just for recon at this point, because it won't kill anything. Koenig has made no attempts whatsoever to kill those Gepards, and he knows this, so I don't think we're going to see much change over there. Jaapaasa slowly worked his way back into town. Looks like he's preparing to slowly push back as well. So things are happening, but slowly methodical. Yeah, looks like both players have, for the most part, now decided to just slowly build up and move in with a little bit of arty support. Actually, quite a bit of arty support. So for a Vanguard or Maverick income, this is a good amount of artillery that we have on the field. As you can see, Set 1 now coming in, but this is way too aggressive by Jaapaasa. He hasn't actually cleared this fully yet. So... Oh, no. It's going over here. I had this selected. That explains a lot. I have not noticed down the low thing too, but I would have been very aggressive. This, on the other hand, is much better. The problem is if you bring it this close to the hill, you're not actually going to see the plane in time. So you would have to have it like somewhere back here, or like somewhere. There's like some positions like here where you can actually put it relatively safely, but you need to be very careful with the hill then. Panzerjagd being forced off once again. Champagne, 1 health, would instantly get killed by the rifle slate, so you can't actually fight anything with this. I think Jaapaasa just decides to be waiting with this. So the Sturmpanzer is coming in to dig out that rifle slate, which would give Jaapaasa a lot more freedom to move over here, since, you know, it would actually make it somewhat safe for him to do things here in this little center area and try to control this area from there. In one mode over here, trying to dig out the Shrimpan area. The rifle slate does it for him, actually. We have the Steward and the M20 moving, but not far enough, so they still can't see anything. Engineer here providing a little bit of vision, but not all too much. Koenig moving away now, so that his own rifle slate is not gonna get held by his mortars. A little bit of a fight here with some Panzergrenadier and Armored Spear, helped by the 50 cal half-track. No, it's the 30 cal one. So that is going very slowly. Down here, Valkyrie trying to push. Actually, one against the rifle slate, because, you know, at this range, the MP40 will add up. But there's another Armored Rifle Spear immediately preventing that from happening, preventing this from getting overrun. The Roman mortar continues to do some pinning. Koenig continues to move in. Fatal for Jaapaasa, though, as he grabs now this flag, and his push in the town is on the way, just very slow in one thing at a time. Hugget Pioneer gets the grenade off, kills the flamer, is on the retreat, but Koenig is ready to push forward. This is going to be the next interesting matchup here if Jaapaasa decides to push forward. Oh, F5A gets killed immediately. There's a weird crit about those things. Where it's the lightning and the mosquito that have some weird crit chances. Oh, but the Gepard is silent. Oh, it's in a weird position here where I couldn't see Rosy's Rocketeer in time. But Rosy's Rocketeer, as Rosy the not very accurate Rocketeer, failing to kill the Panzer T-34, but it is very low, so any other damage will kill that, which is quite significant. Because, for example, if a Steward gets a side shot, that is still going to be providing value now, because it will kill it. The third Pack 13 here has been spotted. M12s are going after that. More recon, more AA coming in on Koenig. And of course, he's afraid of Jaapaasa bringing more of those tank buses, which Jaapaasa doesn't have. But I guess Koenig is, you know, Jaapaasa has spotted things over here, so Koenig might expect a larger airstrike over here. And, you know, it's a target-rich environment for a tank buster if the AA wasn't there, or if Jaapaasa had enough of them to break through. Looks like the fight here was lost for Jaapaasa. It's quite surprising, but maybe not so because of the half-tracks and such. Looks like the rifle slate were forced out, but Koenig is using the mortar again, and those guys will be moving in very soon again, probably. Hummel are moving finally entirely. The 150, the M12 have, I think, been moved a little bit sometimes. Koenig having another go at the hill with some infantry. Sherman moving up. This is, you know, like this right here. This is the level of confidence you can have with a tank when you know that your opponent does not have any bazooka on his infantry. Because, and you know, any bazooka unit moving out here would immediately get killed by all those units right there. But if, you know, something like a rifles BR, for example, armored rifles BR, would be able to push out here and kill that tank with a bazooka in time. It wouldn't get killed in time or pinned in time. So this is, again, this is why you see such ballsy plays with Shermans by Koenig here, whereas Jaapaasa got punished severely for doing the same thing. It's just one of those things that, you know, these kind of bazooka units do. It's not just, you know, Jaapaasa is for the largest part, for the most part, not really doing that anymore, and you know that's because he knows the risk. Even if there's no unit in here with bazooka, Jaapaasa doesn't know that. He has to assume that it's there. So whenever you ask yourself whether these bazooka units are actually providing value when they don't actually kill anything, they do provide a lot of value because they prevent situations where a tank could defeat your infantry up close because your opponent is afraid that there might be a bazooka, whereas so not actually getting into a situation where your infantry can use the bazooka and get a kill with it. But the fact that you're winning fights, for example, with your infantry sometimes, versus units that where they would lose when there was a tank, this is actually value that you get as well. Rifles like do go down, so the push here doesn't really work out super well. Now it's a Panzerschreck, and the infantry is gone, so your Panzer pushing out here would be very dangerous for that Sherman right there. Cabinet versus engineers, they will trade grenades, they are in range, so it's actually still a good fight for Koenig, who has the cheaper unit at the end of the day. Oh, I think the Panzerschreck is going to get a kill here. It has a little bit of suppression build-up, so that's actually quite dangerous. Oh no, the artillery is coming in. Koenig is waiting just in the right spot. He's not popping out here. He's waiting for the artillery. Now he's moving. The cheap unit first. Now the thing here is that with this much suppression, the Panzerschreck can very realistically miss. He passed on the 30-11 again. I don't know how he... Oh, he got that flag. This one is an annoying one for red side to hold if blue actually pushes into the town. It's not super easy. 81mm mortar, quite expertly used once again, trying to clear this out. That rifles late just needs to move in and be done with it. Jaapaasa targeting supplies. They specifically spotted the supplies likely. And there's not that much left, but, you know, sometimes killing off the supply is a better call, because first of all, that's very often actually limiting you more than the amount of artillery pieces you can bring. And if there's no supply, the artillery is basically useless. But on top of that, it's most cases easier to kill. This thing is armored though, so in this case not as easy. But yeah, again, very often this can actually be quite useful. Ooh, Panzergrenadier here gets a kill. It should, ooh, below 500 meter range. I'm not really sure how this is going to go. Because up close, the M1 Garand will absolutely wreck those Panzergrenadiers. It should still win though, I would think. Not if the 76 comes in. This is what I would love to see. Yeah, there we go. So pressing off the MG42 is a little too strong. If, you know, those have better combat, maybe. But there we go. Sherman immediately is going to pin those guys though. So no way for Jaapaasa to profit off of this. M12 did go for some counter battery after Hummel. Hummel have moved a little bit. Are now going after the town. So Jaapaasa is trying to clear this flag out. So both players, for the most part, have decided that while both of them have tried to do some counter battery at some points, and sometimes are still doing it. Oh, airstrike here, not really working super well for Koenig. But yeah, well, both players are trying to do this. Both are for the most part going after key areas where they need artillery support, which is definitely something where if you have mobile artillery, you can 100% afford to do that, because again, you know that your artillery is most likely not going to die. Where when your artillery is all stationary, of course, it's much harder to do that, because you know that if your opponent does counter battery, you're eventually going to lose your artillery, or at least it's going to be pinned and rendered basically useless. So you have a real incentive to fight the arty fight and win this. Whereas in this case, both of them can be fine with just going after any other target. And that provides a lot of value here. Once again, moving back as well, there's a little bit of a force build up there by Koenig with his tanks. Something that Jaapaasa can't really match at the moment. He doesn't have anything that can really pen. The Marder could do it with the, you know, the up-armed Sherman, but it's not there at the moment. Sherman 76 coming in over here as well. not all that much happening here as well. We do have a little bit of infantry fighting still, but, well, not much happening in the sense of, you know, frontline not moving all that much. M15 is going after this flag now, trying to dislodge units that could have been in there, allowing Koenig to get another flag. So both you see this very nicely with this artillery strike here and the one over there. Both players are really looking for opportunities to get flags at the moment. Jaapaasa the first to succeed with just barely getting a hold on this flag as the flamethrower is pinned. Not sure what this one is going after. Is it the engineers over there? Flamethrower is still holding, still standing. It's quite impressive actually. But yeah, as I said, both players are trying to find a way to get into a flag now, just to get a little bit of an advantage, since it's very stale. This game could still go anywhere, really. It's 12-12. The difference in tickets is not that big, actually. So any players making gains just it's going to matter a lot more here than usually. If the game is very fluid, you know, one of these changes, getting a single tick for a minute or two, not that significant, but if the game is this slow, this grindy, that can actually make all the difference you want. Jaapaasa got this flag back, which was giving Koenig a fertile land for a brief moment. Jaapaasa's lost the one in the town, though, the flamethrower recovering from the suppression. The Hummel are still going out. No, they've shifted to the other one now. So Jaapaasa hoping to get flag over here. The Hagelstrom gunners are pushing forward. The problem is they're going to run into a lot of army that they can't really deal with. The Steward, this is the only thing they can kill if they get close enough, but anything else they can't kill because they don't have AT. And this is not really going to change it. The armor is actually dangerously close. If there was like something sitting behind here, it could move into the church town now and get a kill on this. I mean, 410 coming in, there's no, there is AA up north. Never mind. Shchedrin is coming in, but it's a little bit too slow. So Jaapaasa might lose line of sight on it, which then would mean the Shchedrin can't actually get any kills there. Jaapaasa is targeting the right unit though, with the Steward first. This thing is the smallest problem over here. It's still a problem. It's one that can be dealt with. Koenig meanwhile took the hill in the south. Support Panzer III did go down. The Bantam is actually very dangerous now, since there's not that many units that can actually kill it. M475 pushing up. Panzer IV needs to move out now due to the threat of potential bazookas, and it does. Valkyria is getting bullied. Panzerschreck is probably not going to last much long. It should be spotted any second as well. Oh, the Panzer IV gets spotted. First needs a turn. Oh, but Sherman goes down. Panzerschreck moves in. Half-track should go down as well. 50 cal half-track dead. Engineers here are a little bit of a problem though, because neither Panzerschreck nor the Valkyria can really fight it super well. Fertile for Jaapaasa once again as he got this flag back, but Koenig is pushing this part of the forest as well. You also got the flag in the town, so the Valkyria did get in and probably killed the M8, and these guys or the Valkyria killed the half-track. Armored rifles under pressure over there now. So Jaapaasa is finally trying to equalize things a little bit. But meanwhile, on the hill, things are not going super well. And there we go, back to the 12-12. So this is where the flags were originally at the start with the front lines. So not much has happened at the moment. Counter battery again by Jaapaasa, but is already stopped again. I guess he felt like he could go after it after a while, because probably Koenig didn't move his units. But now he realized that this is probably the way to go for. Oh, Panzer III gets a nice little kill here. Engineers moving in though. Looks like the Valkyria got defeated. Yeah, it has been falling back to here. Jaapaasa may be out of CQC. I'm not 100% sure. If not, he definitely needs it over here. Yeah, Engineer's going to kill on the Panzerschreck. He's wasting a TNT on it, so that might give Jaapaasa a brief window of opportunity where he can move back in. Thing is, in the long run, once both players run out of CQC entirely, Koenig is very much favored in this matchup because he has more... Well, actually, no, the Valkyria may have an impact there. Because usually the M1 ground units are just better because than whatever the Axis have, which is usually Panzergrands. Because at the end of the day, you know, semi-automatic rifle in the woods is way better than having no semi-automatic rifles in the woods. And on top of that, you do have the automatic rifle as well, which is better than a machine gun. Of course, it shoots at below 100 meter range. But in this matchup, I don't actually know, because the MP44 with the buff is not too bad, actually. So I would actually love to see how this adds up. I would love to see that matchup, but I guess we're going to have to wait. More supplies coming in. M12 is now going on counter battery 2 since Jaapaasa hasn't moved his Hummel. So both players decided to give it a try, and I would assume that Koenig will abandon it very quickly as soon as he sees the Hummel shooting from a different area, or as soon as he's getting pressured enough somewhere that makes him feel like he needs the units over there. Jaapaasa is very close to getting another flag, but Koenig is reinforcing. Jaapaasa is just very slow to push here. I think he really needed the artillery to do that now. But he's a little bit too careful there. Well, Kuda moving in though, and he actually has overwhelming forces here. He really just needs to push. Problem is, I guess some of these units up close can be quite nasty, especially armored rifles. Unless you have Valkyria that can like hop through the buildings, the Panzer again cannot do that. So unless he has that, he'll get shredded by this. So that's going to make it very tricky. I'm 12 now going after the Pak 38 over there. It's of course one of the things that really overlooks this a little valley over here, and that makes it potentially dangerous. Not a counter battery attempt, and once again, I'm not a huge fan of it. I think Jaapaasa should actually try to just work his way into a flag now. Or P47 goes after Panzer IV here, but the little bit of spread added to the suppression by Descaset and Gepard was enough for it to not kill the Panzer IV entirely. But once again, this means that just anything that comes in pens it just once will kill it immediately. And once more, half-stacks here being very difficult to deal with for Jaapaasa. Oh, the Gepard is immediately focused down. Koenig's not choking around. The Rosy Rocketeer might actually finish the trick. We also have a Sturmtiger here, so any push attempted by Koenig is going to be probably met with a lot of resistance by this thing. Now, its reload time is atrociously slow. It's 1 round a minute. You need to manually target this. This thing will not shoot automatically, which is sometimes very painful. And Rosy Rocketeer land to kill. There we go. So first time I see this thing getting a kill, actually. Now it was admittedly because it was already low, but it still got a kill. That's what counts. Yeah, Panzer IV in now. Jaapaasa has now decided that it's time for this beast to come out and play. I'm not sure what he's seeing. Oh, the rifle's late. So that would actually be an angle, even angle for the student to pop out and get a kill. Or the Sherman 76 and the Jagdpanzer IV will need to turn first before it can engage. So, not a deal. Oh, another Jagdpanzer 76, another Sherman 76 moving in position. So, Koenig preparing for a little pincer movement there. Pak 38. Oh no, it spots the Panzer IIIN first, so Jaapaasa might have been alerted to the danger he's in. There's not much he can do. Pak 38 may take one of the Shermans in retaliation. Or the other one gets a kill up. Yeah, I mean, up close it can pen it realistically. No, the Pak 38 is busy shooting at something else. It might now. It's now also going to get finished off by the Sherman 76. Oh no, things really not going Jaapaasa's way. No, not at all. Still 12-12, but I think the tides are turning slowly against Jaapaasa. I think he has had some bad trades at the start and it's kind of stabilized, but it's not going super well. But this, Jaapaasa is just slowly losing hold on this hill, and he's not looking very strong over here. He's not looking very strong over here anymore. And the town is actually looking decently strong, but not strong enough to take it from Koenig. And did he lose one of the Hummel? Yeah, one of the Hummel did go down. I don't know by what. Maybe counter battery or a unit pushed up here and got a kill there. But either way, this is really bad. So Jaapaasa even down on artillery. And Koenig still has both his M12s and 2 mortars, which were used very, very well by Koenig. I think he's losing his Gepard soon as well. He's not moving at the moment. It's only a matter of time. There's radio for it too, so shots will be somewhat accurate. Almost being being counter battery once again. Jaapaasa is once again doing counter battery. Again, I think at this point Jaapaasa should just give up. This thing is, I'm not really sure if it counts as open top. It's a little bit open toppy, but not really. Because if it isn't, that is actually really hard to kill. Meanwhile, the Hummel is open top. So this thing is, harder to kill than another artillery, like a regular artillery piece, but open top is quite dangerous. If a shot lands accurate, it will kill it. Jaapaasa has to be very careful there. He definitely needs to move it. What's in 10 for Jaapaasa now, though? So he's making a run. That's what really counts. As long as Jaapaasa can get, a ticket lead and then hold, this is not lost for him. But certainly, I think the, you know, the ratio of strengths and who's in control at the moment, that has shifted. Jaapaasa doesn't seem to be in control. He's getting, you know, he's getting the league, he's getting flags, but he's not dictating the fight as much as Koenig does. Which becomes very apparent if you look at the engagements over here and who reinforces where. Like the kind of reinforcement that we see here are not necessarily such that you allow Jaapaasa to get into offensive. It's more of a defensive in nature. And over here, he's built up, and I think he's exhausted his options, and I can't really do all that much. Now he's lost this flag too, to the Steward and the Rhino. Or not actually, probably this is having more of an influence on that. But that means it's 12-12, and Koenig is still in the lead. Not by a lot, but he's in the lead. A push through here with some armor might be very helpful for Jaapaasa, actually. Kind of coming, but not really. But what's really killing Jaapaasa at the moment is the artillery situation. We had a 14 then for a brief moment, now we're back to 12, and we're already back to 30-11 with this luck being grabbed once again by Valkyrie. Nice move there by Jaapaasa. Oh, this is why we had another swing, this flank right here. Half-track being just there. Oh, M475 versus the T34. Of course, not a good fight for the T34 since it has lower armor, and the Sherman has higher armor actually than usual. So, definitely not ideal. The Hummel now being used once again to help Jaapaasa getting flags. Valkyrie moving in. Oh, but the Sherman over here is preventing those Valkyrie from moving in. And the half-track is there to bully Jaapaasa once again. Another Tiger moving in. Not another. We do have a Tiger coming in. As Jaapaasa probably determined to just dominate this open here with the Tiger. There's not that much he can do. Like, he can hold the town if he loses this flag, but he can actually not afford to lose this flag. Pushing in here, the Tiger is not really all that useful because Koenig is hiding behind the hill over here, and he can hide behind the hill over there. So there's not all that much he can achieve by this. He passes on the 30-11 once again by grabbing this flag, by kind of moving around the rifles PR, which is going to go down. Oh! Panzer III gets killed by the 76, but kills the 76 in return. It's actually a huge kill. Half-track though, bullying all those Valkyrie. It's not gonna just Jaapaasa not having an easy time with those half-tracks, really. And his infantry block there's immediately gonna get focused again by the M12. Hummel is silent at the moment though. It's a blob of Panzer III Ms over here, but the problem is there's plenty of bazookas around, so you have to be very careful with those guys. But 39 for Jaapaasa still, and he's taking for the first time actually the lead in the tickets. So if he can keep that for long enough, you know, he can actually take the win. But he's worked certainly very hard for this. Sacrificed a lot of units in the process too. That is not to say that Koenig hasn't done the same. Koenig has definitely lost quite a bit of units as well, but of course he has an easier time with his infantry support than Jaapaasa has. Jaapaasa has a lot harder time supporting his infantry properly, especially against the armor that Koenig can bring onto the field. But Koenig is certainly using his artillery much more efficiently than Jaapaasa. Not just because there's more or because he's using it right now, whereas Jaapaasa is not, but he's targeting the right things. And Jaapaasa has done so for the most part as well, but he has less artillery and he has wasted it on counterbattery a little bit too much where it was just pointless. Koenig has done the same, but not to the same extent, which I think is a bit decided if there's a thing here. Oh, no. And now things are moving out there. Oh, but SPW up close is there to support and kill off the armored rifles and the half-track. But not the armored rifles are moving in to kill off the SPW, though. Steward now in position as well. Is the bazooka going off? No, it is not. It is not in the right range. And there we go. SPW kills off the Steward. SPW is falling back to get out of range of the armored rifles PR's bazookas. But Koenig is getting a flag back over there. And the recon is once again forced off. You have another 20 mil coming in, so Jaapaasa is still afraid of those airstrikes. Oh, I have not noticed this, but the SEK Z71 did die. Is that the SEK Z71? No, that's the thing from earlier. Yep, there it goes. There it is. And the F51 is going to confirm that. So now Jaapaasa's free reign, and Demand is going down immediately, because this is the only thing here that can really... well, no, there's actually a Panzer IV there as well. And there's no Rhino left. So it's not actually that dangerous. Koenig called it off though. I don't know why. Did he lose line of sight for a brief moment? It's very possible that he did. But I don't really know where Jaapaasa wants to go from here. What he really would want to have is this flag back probably, but he needs the artillery to get in there. As long as these guys, the bazookas, are there and the half-tracks to support, Jaapaasa can't move forward with his infantry and he can't support it with his armor. Now he could actually, but he needs to be yeah. Now he could actually at the moment because the half-tracks are not in position. But he doesn't know that. Maybe he knows now. The Panzerschreck is coming in over here to deal with those half-tracks. It's really the big problem that Jaapaasa has at the moment. Oh, his recon plane does go down. Another 20 mil coming in. And Koenig... I mean, Koenig, he is still 10 minutes, so its time is not running out, but it's looking more equal now once again. And Koenig really needs to find a place to push as well at the moment, which for him is probably the town, unless he can clear this out and get this flag. But the Sturmtiger is there to prevent that. It's not going to be all that easy. Actually, he needs this. So if he needs control over the hill, then he gets his flag for free, basically. This, I think, is Koenig's best angle there. Or the town, where Jaapaasa just got another flag. Koenig is trying to stop that, though. Valkyrie, oh no, he doesn't get the kill. Now he gets kill. Oh, SPW is in position, though, to absolutely wreck those armored rifles PR. I don't think they're going to get surrendered, because this thing's not close enough, but also the leader is there. Doesn't need to. You can also just finish it off and kill it up entirely. Surprised that this mod is still not moving out, because obviously, you know, against the armor here it could be useful, but Jaapaasa probably doesn't know it's there. But this Sherman is going to make the day very bad for Jaapaasa. Now what Jaapaasa could do is he could hop out here and get a kill on it. I think that is realistically possible. Ooh, Panzer IV, where's the M1 gun? Not a good fight for the Panzer IV. M1 gun can easily kill it. Got one pen already, and there we go, finishes it off. Still surviving. But yeah, again, Panzer gun could move out, kill that Sherman. But that window of opportunity is now gone as the Sherman moves away. Still 30 land for Jaapaasa. For Jaapaasa, it's very important to now keep that going, that tick. The problem is that engineer alone can really clean that house here against those Valkyrie. Not much they can do. Yeah, TNT gets thrown, Valkyrie is going to go down. Another one is coming in. He might have a chance as long as this is reloading. I'm not actually sure. Oh, but a steward over there is saying no to that. But Jaapaasa is going to get pushed off once again. And the Panzer IV is dangerously close to Bazooka. He needs to fall back immediately. I was going to share the same fate as some of these units did. Okay, Pioneer is here to save the day, though. Very lucky for Jaapaasa. Engineers got the TNT again. That's very dangerous. Valkyrie is on the run. They couldn't really grind it down enough. That's definitely not a good fight for Jaapaasa. Hummel is busy going after this blob. I think Jaapaasa really needs to consider his best chance, and I think this is the wrong call right here. Because he's going after this where he has some units to apply some pressure, but this is really where his goal shouldn't be finding another flag now. His goal should be to, unless he really will need to, but he doesn't. His goal here really needs to be to secure the flags he has. So he can, you know, he's in the lead now. He can afford to not have this. He can afford to lose this. But what he cannot afford is to lose something in the town as well, which is where things are still quite dangerous. So what Jaapaasa really is to do is make sure that he can hold this. So this where he knows for a fact where things are, and we can easily kill them, should go after it. But the Hummel just saw it die. So that was, of course, the even bigger mistake of Jaapaasa not moving it properly, allowing Koenig to do counter battery once again. And now he has no artillery left, and he really needed it to push. Because now, what's he going to do? He's not going to clear this out again. Oh, and there we go. Flamer moved in. Panzergun immediately shred. It is 12-12. If Jaapaasa still holding, what does he hold? Well, he got this one again, because the units moved. But it's not a very strong hold. And Koenig can easily turn that into a single tick. Now, which I think should probably just be enough to win, if Koenig manages to do it soon. Otherwise, it probably needs a triple tick. But, yeah, Jaapaasa really needs to be very focused on holding down. There we go. The single tick is achieved, and I think it should be enough for Koenig to close the distance here, to close the gap and take the win home. So, unless Jaapaasa can somehow stabilize this, I think this is game over at this point. And I really think that what made the ultimate difference here, of course, both players, you know, made their mistakes here in this game, but I think if Koenig takes the win here, what made the difference is the arty play. Koenig using it way, way better. And, yeah, Jaapaasa losing his 2 artillery pieces. Very devastating here. Because again, he could have actually secured this properly if he just shelled the areas where Koenig still had control over this flag. Because now it's going to be very tricky for Jaapaasa to move back in there. He needs to deal with the Sherman. He needs to deal with some potential bazookas. We know it's there, so it's not going to make it easier. And even if you don't know it's there, it's quite dangerous, potentially flamer. It's not going to be very easy. Recon plane coming in, but I think it's mistimed again a little bit. Sherman is immediately focused. But I have some serious doubts about the J87's getting in there and actually getting the kill there. He might. He might. Oh no, he's going after Stewart. Taking the leadership away is nice, of course, but it's not going to kill the main force multiplayer here, which is the Sherman. Is the big problem there. Not a Tiger in that, so I hadn't actually noticed that. But Koenig might actually get another flag over here. Ooh, the Hellcats are now engaging. One is already shooting, another one is about to. They're close enough that, you know, even if the APCR runs out, will have a chance of actually penning it. Sorry. Tiger needs one hit, of course, to kill them, which in this scenario is not that good for the Tiger, because, you know, it has a little bit of slower rate of fire. But Koenig making a very nice move there, trying to move in with the half-track. He gets a kill, though, on the one that really mattered, which is the armed rifle BR. It unloads, but survives, but is unloaded, but far enough that the Tiger can move back and not getting soaked. One more flag for Koenig. So if it wouldn't have been enough, that would still not matter, but I still think it's going to be enough for Koenig to win this, as it doesn't need the 59. But if it did, of course, that would not do it, but I don't think it matters at this point. What it does is it makes it... Oh, Jaapaasa already got it back. I was going to say, what it does, though, is it makes it easier for Jaapaasa to get a 12-12, which he just did. I don't know how he did. Where did he do that? It's 3rd-11 again. Maybe he got that for a brief moment. Can't imagine he got that. Anzrak is here. Yeah, that could hop in here, could do some damage to the Sherman, but how is he going to cross that distance? I don't know. Tiger's going to get killed by the P-47 as there's no AA left in this part of the map. Flag is flipped again. Valkyria coming in. They need to be very careful. They might get sniped. Oh, there's no armor left, so it looks like the Tiger even killed the Hellcat over there. Jaapaasa still holding over here. 14-10 for Koenig, as we have a little bit less than 3 minutes left. Soon 2 minutes 30 left on the clock, and Koenig is still on singleton, and don't really see a chance for Jaapaasa to stop this unless he can get past that armored rifle. But Koenig is fast on his micro with the artillery and is immediately there to prevent that. With his artillery trying to pin infantry. 12-12 for Jaapaasa once again. He really tries to do it. But Koenig has now the opener here for this flag. Half-track's going to get it. Panzer III trying to prevent it. Is it going to do it? No, it just keeps failing. That could also actually be decisive here. The Panzer III just missing. No! And the Valkyria, yeah, they got too far. Jaapaasa would have needed to be more careful with where he puts that. Half-track goes down. Actually, is it going to flip the flag? Maybe it could have back when it started shooting, where it still mattered, but it doesn't anymore. Less than 2 minutes left. Koenig is soon to equalize. Jaapaasa didn't get this flag, actually, thanks to the artillery and the light armor there, obviously. And now we have an M1 gun killing that Panzer III there as well. Not looking very good. Panzer III goes down. I think that's Jaapaasa's chance of getting his 12-12 again. Yeah, he just gave it away. His infantry is pushing, but it's getting stopped. His armor dudes are not actually in the right spot to prevent it and to support. They're moving forward now, but it's now a little too late. Valkyria might have a chance of getting this flag back. I don't really know how realistic that is. It does it, 12-12. It looks like a tie, but I think it happened too late. Koenig might be slightly in the lead, but Koenig, Jaapaasa on the 13-11. What is happening? What is happening here? If he can hold that for just a bit longer, half a minute, and he should be safe. The brief 12-12 though, because of the half-track, it's doing half-track stuff. Third land for Jaapaasa once again. He just needs to hold that a little bit, or then the 12-12 for a little bit longer, and I think he could have this. Or Sherman here just charging in. Doing all the damage here. Jagdpanzer can kill that potentially, but it's going to be really important. Third line for Koenig now. This could be decisive here if that flag flips again. Fast enough. Oh, but the Valkyria already pinned. Now it's flipped 12-12 again. It looks like tie again. So whoever gets a flag now is going to... Oh, no, the steward here. Nothing left here. Yeah, I think Jaapaasa just put his infantry at the very end in the wrong places, and Koenig is going to take this. I don't see Jaapaasa ever getting back. He even... Wow, he got this one with the Tiger. I haven't even noticed that. I mean, it just needs to hold it now. It doesn't matter about the Tiger dying, but there, down he goes, and Jaapaasa just was ever so slightly behind. Oh, what a game. It was so close, but yeah, Koenig, we can see. Koenig outplayed Jaapaasa, and it was noticeable. I think he did so at the start. I think Jaapaasa came back a little bit later on, but not really enough. And what a beautiful grind. I mean, Koenig almost missed his chances there to actually make use of his trade, of his better trades. And Jaapaasa could have had this had he made a few less mistakes in the end with the artillery or with the placement of his infantry, and he might have had this. This was so close. And we can see this. Jaapaasa's opener here was thoroughly destroyed by Koenig. His light armored Hellcat plays were definitely quite good. And then Jaapaasa came back a little bit. But then you had, Muta started grinding, and here Jaapaasa actually not a patch of things going well. That was stopped again. It's also a little bit inflated because a lot of these kills are 5-point half-tracks, which don't, count as much. If you look at the kills, the Hellcats, of course, it actually paid off. The M8 did some good job. Royce's Rocketeer getting more kills than I would have expected. And then, some tanks getting killed, of course. 81 mil really shredding. The 155 really shredding. P47 getting some nice kills too. Sherman 76 being a Sherman. It was a Sherman 76 that killed the home. That was really bad. 155 doing even more work. Rhino being a Rhino and all these kind of things. I mean, the armor makes it just so strong here. On the other side, on the losses side, SPWs, of course, are doing some good work as well. The J87 not really doing as well. It killed a few things, but all relatively cheap and not as big of an impact as some of these bigger tanks, like the medium tanks. T-34 getting some value. Mostly half tracks, which is not bad. You need to kill those. It's not complaining that it didn't do anything. The mother here, really shining here. Wow. At single vet too. And other than that, Panzerschrecks definitely getting some kills as well. More T-34 doing decently well. The Aufklär Panzer III, look at this thing. You kill the Rhino, kill the 76. It actually did a lot of work there. Very impressive, very impressive. SPW, the Tiger. That thing was quite impressive too. You certainly survived for a lot longer than I would have expected. But yeah, that was it. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. See you all in the next one. Bye. Thanks for watching.